San Andreas is a film where lots and lots and lots and lots and lots of buildings fall over. It's rubble porn, basically, and if that's what you want, then San Andreas has got it for you in spades. Did you like 2012? You'll like San Andreas. Shut the video off and go and watch it. It's got everything you need. It's got a giant tanker riding a giant wave, falling into a giant bridge, and it's also got The Rock scowling at rubble. So that's fine. If you want those things, go for it, be my guest. However, the problem with a lot of San Andreas is that the rest of the film that isn't carnage, i.e. the plot, the script, the characters, they're all a cheese and ham sandwich, respectively. So what's San Andreas about? Well, The Rock's in it, playing The Rock, who's estranged from his wife and daughter because of something that happened all those years ago. And he decides that the only way to really get them back is to save them from a massive earthquake. Paul Giamatti is some sort of scientist. He's a scientist, and he predicts that these earthquakes are going to happen and spends the rest of the movie just looking at monitors and going, "May God help us all." Or, "But that means..." So yes, a lot of earthquakes hit California, and The Rock's family are caught up in them. So it's up to him to fly a helicopter into the war zone and save his family. And The Rock's great. You know, he elevates whatever material he's in, because even if it's silly, it's fine because he's an inherently silly figure. He's called The Rock. He's super capable. He looks like two trucks tied together. You can believe the idea of The Rock driving a boat up the crest of a tsunami. Okay, he's one of those acceptable Superman. He's like Schwarzenegger, Stallone, or Statham. People just don't mind that he does these ridiculous things. And the movie is full of ridiculous things. There's a lot of carnage in San Andreas. If you like 2012, if you like seeing buildings fall over onto other buildings and glass raining from the sky, people getting crushed by rubble, all sorts of shenanigans like that, you are probably going to like the film. But the problem is all this carnage, it just gets so numbing. Now there's an old maxim in movie making, is when the stakes are so high as to be incomprehensible, then there are no stakes. Basically, when you see wide shot after wide shot after wide shot of thousands of people getting just snubbed out with the stroke of a CGI paintbrush, if you see waves wiping out half of San Francisco, a building falling onto another building, people being crushed by rubble every single which way, you get numb to it, and suddenly all of these deaths don't mean anything. San Andreas, of course, is at its tensest when it's just The Rock trying to save one person or two people. And you know these people, you know why they might not be saved, and it's the effort of trying to save these small amount of people that makes the movie exciting. When you see thousands of people just get swept away by water, then it just feels, well, at best boring and at worst really, really tasteless. So the script is terrible, but most people probably won't mind that. Slight spoilers, the reason why The Rock is cliché estranged from his cliché wife and cliché daughter is because of a bad thing that happened in his past. Basically, his daughter drowned and he wasn't there to save her. "It was my decision to take her whitewater rafting." That's actually a line from the film. So all of the kind of moments of characters talking to each other, they fall on absolute tin ears. There's a pair of British boys in it, British comedy relief, well, that makes me feel good. Yes, and they are rubbish. They're absolutely terrible. They're poshos who go, "Oh, goodness gracious me, this earthquake is going to cause ever a kerfuffle with my hair. My nanny will be terribly cross that I'm home late." And his younger brother Ollie, Rickon Stark from Game of Thrones, says horribly twee things like, "So, what are we going to talk about? We're going to talk about how much I hate you and hope you get earthquaked." And in fact, the supporting cast don't really fare that much better. Paul Giamatti tries to add wet-eyed gravitas to the whole affair, but unfortunately his part's reduced to him basically being a fly in a bottle, zipping around one room, looking at monitors and getting really sad about earthquakes. Ewan Grufford? Isn't Ewan Gruford? Ewan Grugrad. He's in this. Basically, he starts off as normal, and in the space of 2 scenes, he's actively throwing men into the path of destruction to save himself. It's unintentionally hilarious. Kylie Minogue is in this film, bafflingly. She's in there for like 10 seconds. She says something really blunt and weird about someone's child being dead, and then she dies off screen. Okay, thanks for coming, Kaz. Ultimately, the film improves upon 2012 in like two main respects. One, all the carnage is located in one place, so it gives the film a nice tight focus. It comes in at under 2 hours, which is a godsend. Second of all, the female characters actually get to do something, which is nice. Sure, the onus is on Big Daddy The Rock to save the day, but his wife and his daughter, they both get great lines at some point, and you also get moments to actually prove takeover dominance. They are capable characters, which is great. Ultimately, the movie doesn't take itself too seriously as well. If you want an example of how seriously the movie doesn't take itself, The Rock and his wife parachute into an earthquake-torn city. They land on a baseball field, and The Rock says, "It's been a while since I got you to second base." Boom! That's the kind of movie you're dealing with. Do you like that? Be honest with yourself, you know if you do. So ultimately, it's hard to fully recommend San Andreas because it is technically rubbish, but it's also good-natured rubbish, and it's a guilty pleasure. I enjoyed it, I think you will too. It's loud, it's compelling, there's a lot of spectacle, a lot of action. It's basically one long action scene, but it's also trite, contrived, cliched, emotionally empty, unintentionally hilarious. Here's a perfect example. At the end, people are looking over across the rubble, and one character says, "What do we do?" Then, an American flag unfurls in the rubble and waves in the breeze. Another character says, "We rebuild." If that sounds like it could be your cup of tea, or certainly won't drive you to hatred, then maybe San Andreas is for you. I give it 3 stars. I'm Adam from WhatCulture.com, and I'll see you soon.